Aloha my friends, Kristina here, and I'm so happy to be back in a new video with you today. We're going to be diving deep into how to overcome addictions, beat food cravings, and find food freedom. I recently hosted a 21-day vegan and juicing challenge within my community, on my channel, within my inner circle group, and one of the most frequently asked questions I got, or requests to cover discussing, was how to beat late night cravings and addictions, how to overcome self-sabotage when it comes to eating, and how does one make a promise to truly love yourself so that you can heal your relationship with food. I think this is such an important and powerful topic to discuss because each of us has our own relationship with food. Some of us might have a positive relationship with food, and many of us might struggle with our relationship with food because it's a deeper reflection of the relationship we have with ourselves. A phrase that I have coined and that I have used on my own personal journey is nourish, not punish. Write it down, put it on a sticky note, stick it on your fridge. Nourish, not punish. I've been through my own journey with food, and I have healed my relationship with food and my relationship with myself. And this phrase has brought me so much healing and so much strength, because ultimately my intention has been to nourish myself and my body and my temple with food, and never to punish myself with food. And I'll get more into that. I'm going to be covering many different things in this video, but ultimately I'm presenting to you three main questions that you can dive deeper on. The first is, what is your relationship with food? What does your relationship with food look like? On a physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual scale, what does your relationship with food look like? Be very honest, journal about it, really dive into this journal prompt. Question number 2 is, how do you self-sabotage? And this can be food or non-food related. Obviously, we are talking about food here. However, I believe that this question goes far beyond food, and oftentimes food is merely just a tiny reflection of what's happening in a bigger picture in your life. So if you can answer that question, how do you self-sabotage, and maybe even how do you more specifically self-sabotage with food, I think much will be revealed to you. Question number 3 is, what are ways in which you can nourish and not punish? What are some different things that you can do to implement more nourishment into your life and with your food practices and your relationship with food, and not punish yourself with food or practices or more? In the end of this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the tips and tools that have helped me and many others overcome late night food addictions, cravings, what I like to call the late night munchies, and more, and hopefully bring more self-love and care into your life. So please be sure to watch until the end so you can see my tips. Many of you who are watching this video might be stumbling across my channel for the first time. And whether or not you are trying to learn more about juicing, a raw vegan lifestyle, a vegan lifestyle, plant-based eating, or more, I'm here to support you. My name is Kristina. I've been a raw vegan for over 18 years now. Whether or not you are in the beginning of your journey and you're really trying to learn more about juicing or the raw vegan lifestyle, a vegan lifestyle, plant-based living, or even if you've been on this journey a long time and you're still really struggling with self-love, I believe that the tools that I'm going to share with you today will be beyond helpful, and hopefully they will inspire you to move forward to really change the way that you love yourself and what you put into your body, because it matters. I was actually talking with my inner circle about this topic, and we wrote out a list together that I thought was pretty appropriate, because we were discussing all the ways in which people might self-sabotage, or what it might look like for someone to have an unhealthy relationship with food. And some of these things might look like crunchy munchies, or what I like to call the late night munchie monster, right? Stress eating, eating too late, self-sabotage stuffing, or essentially where you overeat all the time at every meal, unintentional numbing, we'll talk about that in a second, taste addiction, safe and calming, full feelings. Talk about that in a second too. Eating things that make us intentionally feel sick or unintentionally make us feel sick, but we tend to overeat them or eat them anyways. And eating things we know we shouldn't eat. I think when it comes to emotional eating or self-sabotaging within the food space, I think that most people don't realize that they are constantly stuffing or numbing themselves with food. And instead of sitting there and feeling their feelings and addressing the actual issues that are going on in their life, they use food as a way to stuff it down or try to numb these feelings or sensations that might be coming up for us. Let that sit with you for a minute. Everywhere that you look nowadays, there's a dopamine hit. There's something that distracts us or takes us away from what's actually going on within us. And toxic foods is a huge part of this culture that we live in that essentially takes us away from ourselves. I do believe that this disconnect, this greater disconnect that is happening, not just within us, but on a larger scale, within our communities, within our cities, within the world, it goes so deep. And I truly believe that it is our responsibility to bring the awareness back to ourselves, the consciousness back here, back to our hearts and within alignment of what we truly desire. And it's within our reach and within our responsibility to change things. I do believe that healing is possible, but we each have to work on ourselves individually first and heal ourselves so that we can better impact others. I'm constantly asking the questions who, what, when, where, and why. And the question that stands out for me the most is simply why. Why do people disconnect from themselves? Why are we struggling to reconnect with ourselves? Right? I think the real challenge is how do we heal that disconnect? So in answering the question why, the answer that I have come up with that I believe applies to many or most people is that eating can be an emotional outlet for anyone. And eating can be a healthy habit or it can be an unhealthy habit. But when it becomes an unhealthy habit, it can also become a sickness or a destructive behavior. From what I have seen the past 18 years, on my journey and also through coaching and supporting other individuals on this journey, is that food can either be nourishing or punishing. So I've put together a little comparison list. I'll put it on the screen. When food is nourishing, it can be life-giving, delicious, healthy, sustaining, nature-providing, peaceful, bountiful, and abundant, and freeing. When food is punishing, it can be life-taking, addictive, or it can become an obsession, toxic, short-lived, man-made, stressful and painful. It can create resentment. It can create a scarcity mindset, and it can be confining. I have found that when food becomes punishing, there's absolutely no health freedom to be found in that space. So my invitation to you becomes, let's recreate your relationship with food. Let's recreate your relationship with food so that you can begin to experience food as a source of nourishment and never again as a source of punishment. Wouldn't that feel so good? It would feel amazing. What foods are your weaknesses or the ones that you simply cannot live without? Why do you like these foods and why do you have an emotional attachment to these foods, assuming that they're unhealthy? And lastly, what is your purpose in eating these foods? Is it a physical attachment or an emotional one? Those are great questions to help you break down why you like certain foods and why you feel the need to eat them or why you might be attached or addicted to them. Once you've answered those questions, move on to then identifying what would some healthier options be for me? What could I replace some of those foods with that are raw vegan alternatives? What would a healthier option be for me? In the 18 years that I've been a raw vegan, I have learned that anything that you can make that is cooked or vegan or not vegan or whatever, you can make the raw vegan equivalent to it. And it will be healthier and better for you, and you will feel more alive consuming it. Finding delicious replacements can be a lifesaver. Most cravings typically last in your body for 10 to 20 minutes. And I like to think that most cravings are a detox. Cravings also usually mean that something is about to be released from the body, which is why we have such an intense craving at that moment to replenish it, because it's about to be purged. This is why finding healthier options or replacements is so crucial, because you can literally train your body to want something different over time. You can get rid of cravings over a period of time. Your body cannot crave something that it does not have within it. So it's time to start replacing certain foods with other ones so you can start craving healthy foods. I think it's also important to touch on detox for a second, because when you are approaching a raw vegan lifestyle, eating raw foods brings up a lot of raw emotion. And when people don't have their toolbox built up and they don't know what to do with all this emotion when it comes up, it can be scary, and they might go back to eating a lot of cooked food or numbing or stuffing themselves with unhealthy foods because they're afraid of that emotion. It's important to note that detox can be not just physical, but also emotional. Know that it's beautiful to feel your feelings. You have to feel it to free it. And detox is wonderful, not just on a physical level, but on an emotional one. Who wants to carry around all that gunk and junk anyways? A part of experiencing food freedom is being able to heal not just the physical component, but also the emotional one as well. You're going to encounter friends or family members who will judge or criticize you on your journey, and you might even be your own worst enemy. But the most important thing is to really believe in yourself and to take it one step at a time. Don't let anyone ever tell you that you can't do this, because you absolutely can. If I can do it, and if many of my friends and community members can, you can too. Surround yourself with people who will help motivate you to reach your health goals, not just people who will tell you what you want to hear. Really strive to be your biggest motivator, and when you need extra support, you can always come here or come to me or join my inner circle to seek out a community of other individuals who are doing this as well. There will always be deeply rooted fears that come up for you when you're trying something new. I'm too fat, I'm too thin, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'll never get this right, I have to be perfect, I don't know how to prepare fruits and vegetables. There will be so many false stories that come up for you when you are trying to change something in your life. Believing in yourself is the first most important step. So let's jump into my top tools and tips to help you beat cravings and addictions. Tip number 1 is create your dream raw vegan kitchen. Let's make this fun for you. If you're gonna get excited about changing your life, you have to get excited about the space that you're going to spend a lot of your time in. If you're just a beginner, the first thing you need in your kitchen is a blender. Get a Vitamix blender. You can get the Venturous blender, which is an evergreen $100 off their blenders, or you can get the A3500, which is the one that I have with all the bells and the whistles, and it comes with a blender head attachment and a food processor attachment, and you can do all different kinds of things with it. If you're just starting off on your journey, you need a blender because you can make so many fun, delicious things with it, like smoothies, salad dressings, gazpachos, soups, and more. You absolutely need a blender in your kitchen. I've gone ahead and included a special Vitamix sales link for you below in the description. Please check it out. It will give you $100 off a Venturous blender, and it will also share with you all the special sales that Vitamix is having right now. Once you have a blender, I would then get a juicer. Get a Nama J2 juicer if you can. It is a game changer in your kitchen if you want to start making fresh green juices and other juices in your kitchen to help rebuild healthy habits. I've also included a $55 off link for a Nama juicer. That's linked in the description below for you, and the code is FullyRaw55. In addition to a blender and a juicer, I've actually created a blog post for you on my website with all of my favorite kitchen tools, all of my recommendations on how I've created my raw food kitchen, and I'll also link that below for you in the description. So once you've set up your space and you have a fun raw food kitchen to play in, my tip number 2 is eat earlier. Make a goal for yourself that you will stop eating at a specific time every night. I recommend 7 p.m. That way it gives you at least 3 hours to digest your food. And when you stop eating at an earlier time, it prevents you from having what I like to call the midnight munchies, right? Or those late night munchies, the munchie monsters. I have found that when you start eating late at night, it's actually more difficult to stop once you get started, because your body's already tired and you become somewhat of a bottomless pit at that time. And because your body's tired and is craving to be energized and have energy, you will fill up on more food because it thinks it's getting energy, but what your body really needs is restorative sleep. So set a stop time for yourself, don't eat late at night, and let that be your number 2 transformative tip here. This leads us into my number 3 tip, which is go to sleep earlier. When you finish eating early, start winding down for the evening and get to sleep earlier. Allow your body to restore itself. The more sleep you get, the more healing your body will receive, and the easier this process will be for you. They have done studies that have shown that people who get more sleep tend to eat less naturally in the day, and that getting more sleep can actually cause healthier habits around eating and more weight loss. Tool and tip number 4 is find healthier replacements for the foods that you're always munching on or craving. There is a raw vegan replacement for every single one of those addictive things that you think you can't live without. Find them and make sure that your house is properly stocked with all of them. Tip number 5 is find something else other than food to satisfy that addiction or craving. Oftentimes we think that food must be the answer, but what if it's not? What if instead of finding a food replacement for something, you go on a walk, you do exercise, you do yoga, you take a bath, you go spend quality time with someone that you love, and you find connection in a different way. Start finding ways to reconnect with yourself and with others that don't involve food. That's when you really get to create a deeper bond within yourself and even with others. And last but not least, I invite you to join my Inner Circle community. Twice a week, I go live on Zoom every Wednesday and Sunday, and I hold space for questions and support, and I just simply love our community. There's so much connection and healing that happens here, and if you're looking for other like-minded individuals on this journey who are really working to become the best versions of themselves and to heal from this and to heal their relationship with food, this is where you will find it. So if you're looking for a community that you can explore this healing journey with together, please join my Inner Circle. In addition to that, you'll get access to past programs of mine, our Facebook community, and more. I'll include all of that information for you in the description below. Please check it out, and I would love to have you, we would love to have you, and I hope to see you there. I hope you have loved this video today. It's a topic that is so dear to my heart and that I love discussing because it's been such a powerful part of my healing journey. If you have liked this video, if you found it to be helpful or useful in any way, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button because there is only more healing to come. If you're looking for more resources, whether it be to join my Inner Circle community, to get a Vitamix blender, check out Nama Juicers, or even to download my raw vegan recipe app, please check out the links in the description below. Everything is there for you. I really cannot thank you enough for being a part of my journey. For those of you who have been following me since the beginning, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for allowing me to hold this space for you and to talk about these topics which are not discussed every day. They're very unconventional, and yet here we are creating this space together. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being here. I can't wait to see you all in my next video. Sending you all my hugs and my love. Bye.